Hello, my name is Michael Keys, um, part of Erie City Council. A very optimistic person. I am actually feeling a little pessimistic these days that things are getting better and are going to improve in the very near future. Empathy is a large part of it, and not making snap judgments because you don't know what other people's experiences are, and we like to relegate historic American history to some of the not so good things being, a very, very, very long time ago, which are not so. My great grandfather was hanged in the South, and my grandfather was orphaned at the time. He was between the age of 5 and 10. Because of records, we don't know exactly, how old he was, but he had to quit school and start working in the fields. And so my grandfather lived till 1998. And so my grandfather has the realization that his father was murdered in front of him. And he lived to 1998, which were the first 30 plus years of my life. And so it is that close to some people's pain, is that close, and not segmented off into generations and into, historical facts. And so that's why I say we need to be cautious because, that pain is real. That's pain I've experienced, I've seen, and I watched my grandfather work through it. And so that's why I say don't make snap judgments, because you don't know their perspective. I think we have to get people to acknowledge, one, that it has happened. Whether your family were here or not. The last time I had this conversation, the person said, "Oh, we weren't even here in the in the 1800s or in the 1900s." But when you come in and you plug into a system that's already here and already has things in play, you by default become part of that system. And I think what you can do is you can work to make sure that that system is the best that it can be for everybody. I'm on city council, and so it's hard to change. And even though our administration has made lofty goals, usually not in interviews, but I usually say to people who have 92% of the jobs want to keep 92% of the jobs. And that's just a reality. And it doesn't necessarily make it racist. It just makes it that there's a problem with the system. And let's just say all isms are bad because Erie has the nepotism problem that's probably just as bad as any other ism. And so, but the problem is if your family's not connected into that structure, so you lose by default of you're not related to anyone, so it ends up looking the same way. If there are no blacks there, their kids won't get hired, their grandkids won't get hired, their cousins won't get hired. And so, nepotism playing a big part in it also. It's going to take some boldness and some courage. What I want is all of our employers to look at their records. Look at your diversity. Look and see if you think it's something that needs work. To see, that the reality is that, even if it's not intentional, there's probably something that can be done. In Erie, there's a statistic that a black person makes 42 cents on a dollar of a white person. And so we have less than half the money of the greater community yet we have to fix our houses, pay our taxes, and all our other, uh, personal upkeep that we need. And, you know, the employers that pay, high wages can look at those things and see, hey, maybe we can be more inclusive. Maybe we can do something bold and take on an initiative to hire more people of color. The conversation for my kids or grandkids would be different than, the one that you would have. But, the I think just for the next generation, just that, I mean, we can stand on the Constitution, all men are created equal, and been endowed by the Creator and then given inalienable rights, and it's just that simple to actually, use that narrative. We're all one country at this point, we're all one people, and we're all, while we have different backgrounds, that's our common ground. I do. If you watch a lot of the protests, there are a lot of people there of all different races, and I think that that's what the system needs. The system needs the next generation to bind together and say that these ways are no longer the ways that we want our city or our country to operate. And so the power does rest with the next generation, and we'll just have to see if the next generation has the courage.